coming up on the Uplift, a place to sip some fresh brew and give back to youth sports. We're going to tell you where you can make that happen. Then a life-changing kidney transplant for a former athlete. See the moment that he got to meet the woman that helped save him. And hundreds of miles fight to beat ALS, the woman fighting back against her disease. Welcome, friends, to the Uplift. In this digital series, we're going to be sharing some of our favorite stories. We hope will put a smile on your face. It's our goal to lift your spirits for at least the next 30 minutes and hopefully for a lot longer. I'm Susan Elizabeth Littlefield. Thank you so much for being with us. For the first time in its 98-year history, a woman is leading the Urban League Twin Cities chapter. Pittsburgh native Marquita Stevens now serves as CEO and president of the civil rights organization. She has more than 20 years of experience working in public service. Since taking over the role of CEO, she has led the rebirth of the education division at the Urban League. She has also opened the Center for the Advancement of Black Families and the Community Caring for Its Children program. Stevens believes that she can lead the organization in a direction that creates lasting change.
We anchor what we do now in what we did then, and we build on that, and we stay firm to that history as a movement.
A new coffee shop near downtown Minneapolis is supporting youth soccer with Every Pour. Fox Alley Company just opened last week with a mission in mind. The founders of the Futsal Society came up with the idea for the coffee shop to support their league and their players. The shop is tucked behind Cafe Lurcott in an alley in Loring Park. The proceeds from each pour help keep Futsal Society free for all young players, and it helps to allow the league to grow.
If we're not charging kids, right, we kind of have to be creative about how we're generating revenue to support, buying jerseys, renting field space, paying coaches.
Some of the baristas are players of the Futsal Society who have graduated from high school. They hope to be a job and mentorship space for these kids who are transitioning into adulthood. From a World Series champion to needing a kidney transplant to stay alive, that's the life for former major leaguer Ed Hearn. But thanks to a Minneapolis woman, Ed's future is as bright as ever. John Lauritsen shows us the beautiful moment when the donor and recipient met for the first time.
Throw to third, out at third, the Mets win it 6-5.
Well, I got more out of baseball than most people that play 15 years in the big leagues.
It's a statement that says a lot about Ed Hearn's life. As a rookie catcher, he won a World Series with the New York Mets in 1986, but was out of the league just a couple years later due to injuries.
A year and a half after my career ended, everything went south.
Injuries were followed by kidney failure, dialysis, and his first kidney transplant. Ed took it all in stride by becoming an author and a keynote speaker.
To me, that was really what saved me from that big loss. That some man said the penthouse, the outhouse, and back, Ed. And I was like, wow, yeah. But the back is the best part of my story.
But his comeback was marred by the need for 2 more transplants. And last year, as yet another kidney failed him, Ed wondered if time was running out. Because of his previous transplants, doctors said over 90% of donors would not be a match.
There's always an urgency when your kidney is teetering because you could end up on dialysis at the drop of a dime.
This is where that World Series ring comes into play. A Mets fan stepped up to the plate, eager to give Ed her kidney. Unfortunately, she wasn't a match. Still, by doing that, she got Ed a transplant voucher, putting him on the National Kidney Registry.
They get an IOU, basically, that a kidney will be given to you. And within 3 months, we were able to find a perfect match from a young donor.
That young donor was 26-year-old Jamie Klein-Ryan, a UPS worker from Minneapolis.
I've always wanted to make a difference in people's lives, even if it's just one person.
Jamie had watched a documentary on kidney dialysis and decided she wanted to help someone, anyone, by giving them one of her kidneys.
I realized I really, really wanted to do this. would have been heartbroken if they had said no.
Against all odds, she was a perfect match for Ed, who drove from his home in Kansas City to the U of M Medical Center in May. That's where the transplant took place, though Jamie and Ed never saw each other during their surgeries.
Without her, I wouldn't be here. There's no doubt.
On Tuesday, Ed and his wife once again drove from Kansas City to Minneapolis.
Let's go meet this darling gal.
To meet the donor
Hello.
Hello!
who saved his
You're
life.
Jamie?
Yes.
Hello, girl, can I have a hug?
Yes, of course.
A special moment that turned into a special connection.
I personally thank you so much because you gave us back our life.
I'm very happy to hear that, honestly. That's what I wanted to do when I did this.
You did.
As Ed and Jamie recover, about the only concern she has is that her kidney went from being a Vikings fan to a Kansas City Chiefs fan. That's Ed's favorite team.
It's insanely gratifying. It's indescribable. It makes me feel over the moon, and it's everything I'd hoped for.
When we can make a difference in other people's lives, to me, that's the key to life.
In Minneapolis, John Lordson, WCCO News.
A Wisconsin woman is finding new meaning after being diagnosed with the life-changing diagnosis of ALS. She and a group of supporters finished a week-long bike ride to raise money for research. As WCCO's Kirsten Mitchell shows us, the disease may change her body, but not her determination.
Pedaling with a purpose, Claire Schultz-Bergman finishes a 350-mile ride from Madison to her hometown of Minneapolis.
Well done!
You have to hug me. I mean,
I'm so proud of you.
I want one. I want a sweaty gross. It's amazing. Thank you guys.
The endurance athlete is raising money for ALS, a progressive neurodegenerative disease that slowly takes away muscle function.
I was thinking a lot this week about the people who have a shorter fight than I seem to have.
Claire was diagnosed with the slow progressing variant of ALS in November of 2022.
At this point, my right arm is really affected. It's pretty weak. My left arm is getting weak.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, sister.
It's a life-altering diagnosis. Claire ran her first marathon with her dad in 1996. She finished the Ironman Wisconsin in 2021.
She completed Ironman Wisconsin less than 2 years ago, and then to kind of go from that iron person way of, identifying to then this past winter being diagnosed with ALS, it was just sort of like night and day.
Claire's husband and daughter rode with her all the way, as others joined along the route.
Claire's uncle joined us, and of course he asked about whether or not anybody had a flat tire. Within the next half an hour, somebody got the first flat tire.
Nonetheless, they surpassed their fundraising goal.
They represent all of Claire's amazing work in raising $36,500, and I think today, $530.
I think that bringing the attention to ALS and hopefully raising the money so that there is better treatments to make the disease livable and then eventually find a cure will allow more people to do the things that they love for longer.
Her family and loved ones say they'll be cheering her on to the next finish line and beyond.
I have to sort of carry on. This is a terrible diagnosis, but I can do a lot of things still, and they see that. So I think that that's been helpful.
Thank you.
In Minneapolis, Kirsten Mitchell, WCCO News.
When we come back, meet the artists behind these beautiful works of art, how an Annandale shop is giving them the space to be their best selves.